Hello, welcome to JavaScript Fundamentals tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going to concentrate on Textbox. In our previous tutorial, I showed you how to apply logic to a form element, a button form element, whereby when you click a button, then something happens. So that particular thing that happens is more like triggering an event handler to cause an action to take place. So on the basis of that, in this particular tutorial, we are going to look at how we could do two things. So what are those things we could do? Now let me show you. Here, we are going to look at how we could get the value of a text box. When you type in a value, how can we get that value? And we are also going to look at how we could set the value of a text box. So whereby when you click a button or something like that, then a value should be displayed inside the text box. So without any further ado, I would like to actually show you around the HTML code. Now this is a plain HTML code whereby you have a text element. By the way, at this point in time, you should be more familiar with HTML before you could understand this better. But if you do not, I think from here you could be able to navigate. So this is simply an input element that is a text input element with an attribute ID. Now the ID has the value your name. So take note of these values as we proceed. Next thing you have to take note of is the button, which has an onClick event that would trigger a function show text. Now this show text is included in the script.js file, which is an external JavaScript I'll be using to implement the logic of this web page. So when we navigate to the script.js, there is nothing there. It is quite empty. And of course, the only thing you could see is just a multiple line comment on what we are going to be covering on this tutorial. So to launch this, I will first of all show you what happens on the browser when we click the button itself. So the idea for me here is that when you click this button, then a message should be displayed on the console. So to get to the console, you go to the top menu on the browser and navigate to the More Tools. Then go to Web Developer Tools. So here we are in the console. Let's look at what happens when I click this button. When I click Show Text, then nothing meaningful happens actually. So it means that the logic behind this has not been implemented. To kickstart this, let's look at how we could at least get something working. To get something working, I will simply start by implementing the logic of this function, because the idea is that when this button is clicked, something should happen. So I will first of all define a function, which is show text. And the logic here is that when I click this button, I am going to see a message, hello world. So, and let's see what happens on the browser when I click this button. First of all, I refresh and click the button, hello world. So my button is actually working, except that I'm not supposed to be showing hello world. Rather, I'm supposed to be showing whatever content that's been typed into the text box. So to show this content, we are going to implement a logic. Now recall that in our HTML code, we have this ID attribute. So we are going to grab or identify this particular element, which is input element, by its ID. So to get this, I prefer to actually maintain the same name as the identifier. So the idea here is that the moment I click the button, first of all, I have to define a constant, which is going to be your name. And this your name should be able to access that element, okay, by its ID. So when I access the element by its ID, your name, now I'm supposed to display the your name constant in the console. So to display your name constant in the console, let's look at what happens in the browser when we click. First of all, I refresh and I type John Doe. And when I click show, instead of showing me John Doe, I am seeing the entire element. That is because I didn't do anything different except that I simply referred to the entire element instead of the value it contains. So this is where we have to concentrate on another thing. The HTML input element, this input element, actually contains another attribute, which is the value attribute. So the value attribute stores the value that has been entered into the input box, into the text box. So for me to extract the value itself that has been typed in, I need to access the value property. So by using the dot notation at the end of this. So when I save and I navigate to my browser to refresh and now show text again, I now see John Doe, which is what I've been typed. So the second thing we need to cover here is to actually look at how we could set the value of a text box. To set the value of a text box, the idea is that I am going to actually switch the whole thing. All right. So let me comment out this and I'm going to switch the entire thing. Now, what do I mean by switching? Recall that this your name is actually on the right, on the left, and you are assigning it whatever the value that the user has typed in. So now I am to bring this particular one to the left and assign to it John Doe. So, and when I click, I should get something that is similar to what I'm expecting. So let's refresh and see what happens. I'm supposed to erase this whole thing. And when I click show, I see John Doe. So this is how to, first of all, get the value of a text box and also set the value on a text box, of a text box in JavaScript. So I hope this tutorial helps you learn, and of course you are getting closer to mastering JavaScript form elements. So if you have any further questions on this tutorial, please kindly do not hesitate to ask questions on the comment box. And of course, always remember to subscribe if you've not done so already, and click the notification bell for more tutorials like this. So for now, I wish you all the best, and see you in our next tutorial series. Bye.